right, so now this is the movie that we've been waiting for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Since Dead Reckoning.
Yep. Part 1.
Well, we don't say part 1.
My Blu-ray up there says part 1, so I'm always going to say part 1.
No, I know. I agree completely. I will
that
say,
will forever fucking bug me when I look at it.
I will say, though, they could have still left it as Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Yeah.
And then just be like, The Final Reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
And, but whatever. But, like, some of the shit is, again, like I was saying, so part of this prefaces with the fact that, like, going into Dead Reckoning, just giant egos all the way through. Because, like, that team has been
unstoppable.
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, they've been steadily making more money for the franchise since Rogue Nation.
Yep.
And the movies themselves have leapt in quality.
Yep.
Right? Like, let's be real here. The first 3 movies are up and down in terms of quality. It starts off really strong. And, I mean, again, like I said, for a John Woo movie, that's the best John Woo movie you're ever going to see.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than what you see in that. It's just not a really good Mission Impossible movie. But the third one, if it wasn't for Philip Seymour Hoffman being so good in a bland role, okay, but the movie's a made-for-TV movie.
It's clear as day that it's J.J. Abrams' first movie coming off of TV.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels like it's a TV pilot.
Like, but again, so those two are always going to wrestle for last place for me.
Yep.
But then Ghost Protocol
happened, and we're seeing a new direction.
And that's shifted. But then Rogue Nation, awesome. And then Fallout,
also
pinnacle.
Rogue Nation, introduction to Ilsa Faust.
Yeah, exactly. And then Fallout is the pinnacle. Fallout is where they peak.
Oh, yeah.
But then after Fallout, it's,
Dead Reckoning.
No. That same team,
they
go over to Top Gun Maverick.
Yes.
And that was bonkers.
That's probably one of the best movies of the last decade. And
like, so because of that, and you have like Steven Spielberg saying to Tom Cruise, "You just saved the summer blockbuster." It's like, yeah. I mean, I get it, right? But then you hear like just kind of quick rehash. There was a Polish bridge that they were going to destroy, and then they were like, "No, that's a national."
Yeah, don't do that.
Like, don't do that. And they were like, "Well, what if we bought it?" And they're like, "I don't think you understand. Yeah. It's not for sale. This is like a national
treasure.
Let's
just go make a miniature and blow that up."
So like there's a lot of this and a lot of that, and they thought they could do whatever, so okay, fine. Like, I don't think originally they were planning to build this as a 2-part end of the line for Ethan Hunt.
Yeah, and then COVID happened too. COVID really threw everything off the rails.
COVID fucked everything up.
Like, the budget blew up because of it.
Barbenheimer,
which nobody.
No one.
Don't tell me you thought that was going to defeat Mission Impossible. But I didn't.
I'll tell you this. I'll say this, though. Again, this is where the arrogance came into play.
Yeah.
Okay? I knew Barbie was going to do well. I knew Barbie was going to be around the 700 to 800 million.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be $1 billion, but I knew it was going to do well. Okay?
Yeah.
Also, I knew Oppenheimer was going to do really well, too. Again, not $1 billion.
No.
But I knew it was going to do really well for a number of reasons. First and foremost, Christopher Nolan, okay? And, of course, now you got RDJ in his first non-Iron Man role, plus it's a star-studded cast, plus it's a crazy story, you know what I mean? So I knew, but that whole Barbenheimer thing, nobody knew that was going to happen.
No.
Nobody. They've been trying to do it ever since.
Super Jurassic.
I like Super Jurassic.
Super Jurassic July.
Or, Super Jurassic's actually probably the best one.
Yeah, I really like that one.
I liked, I think I said Super Fantastic Man 4 or something like that, and I was just like, that's but Super Jurassic 4 is good. I like that one.
Super Jurassic.
But, the Glickening. That was the closest.
Oh, the Glickening.
No, Glicken. It was Glicken.
Oh, yeah.
Glicken, and then they tried, it was the Deadpool and It Ends South. They tried with that one really hard. But I was like, did they try that hard? Because I didn't hear about that movie until after all that shit happened.
Yeah, I did.
But anyway, they couldn't release the movie 2 weeks earlier? Or pushed it another, like, 2 weeks after? Because neither of those movies stayed for 6, 7 months. They just made money quickly.
Yeah.
Like, within the first month, that was it. And then they were done.
They cleaned house.
And then they got out.
Yeah, well, Oppenheimer was in for quite a while. Because
no, that's right.
Oppenheimer took all the IMAX screens from Mission Impossible.
That's right. That's right. But, like, so then you're like, okay, so fine. Okay, fine. Yep. We talked about Dead Reckoning. That's fine. But so then they switch gears. It's not Dead Reckoning 2, it's The Final Reckoning, and this may or may not be the end of Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt,
and
it may or may not be the end of the Mission Impossible franchise, or at least as we know it.
As we
right?
know.
So for me personally, and I'm sure for you, going into this one, they had to do a lot, because I like Dead Reckoning. I do.
I really enjoy Dead Reckoning.
I really enjoy it. But like I said in the previous Camcast, and like I've said since, it is too long, and I feel it. And even after I've rewatched it, I still go, right, I forgot that this scene is a little bit too long, and that scene's a little bit too long. You know, and it's tough because, again, they're coming off Fallout, which I believe is the pinnacle. For me, that's the best movie of the franchise.
Not even just the best movie of the franchise, probably the best, like, spy action movie ever made.
One of the best spy-fi movies I've ever seen.
I love the new Bonds and I love Bournes, but Fallout is just... And
it's crazy because, like,
and I felt it while I was watching. Like, when I was watching Fallout, I was like, I'm watching something special right now.
Yeah. Oh,
like, This is fucking good.
Like, they just fucking nailed it, right? So, coming off that, they really did have a, like, I mean, and to be fair, they hit Ghost Protocol, then they hit Rogue Nation, and then they hit Fallout, so you're like, okay, I mean, it stands to reason that they can exceed, right? They didn't, for a variety of reasons. They definitely stuck the landing on this movie, in my opinion. They definitely stuck the, in fact, like, even when I was in the theater and I was watching it, and I was like, I know this is almost a 3-hour movie. I know that. I knew that going into that, okay? But in comparison to Dead Reckoning, I didn't feel it.
See, I didn't feel it with Dead Reckoning.
I did. But then again...
But Final Reckoning, I didn't really feel it either. Like, it does start slow. It's a slow build.
It is. I will say, though...
Two of the most amazing sequences you'll see in your life on film.
Well, yeah.
Like...
The fucking last hour and a half of that movie is just holy
I will, when I do buy it on 4K, which I will.
Yes.
I will purposely skip to that submarine scene just to watch that over and over again.
Oh, me too. Like, and honestly, but I will say, though...
And it made me feel kind of Metal Gear Solid-ish, too.
Everything about, like,
right?
Honestly, I was like, oh, man. I walked out of The Final Reckoning feeling the same way I felt walking out of Fallout. Like, I felt like I watched something special. I didn't get that feeling with Dead Reckoning for a variety of reasons. One of the main reasons is they killed off Ilsa Faust.
Yeah.
Like, I know why.
Really...
I know why they did it. And, like, obviously leading up to that, everything that happens makes sense.
I like Grace, but she's no Ilsa.
And, well, it's not even just that alone. It's just, like, I get it. Like, what are you supposed to do when the actress is like, okay, but, like, I'm doing this, and really, like, I don't want to just be his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right? And after Fallout, like, when you watch Fallout and then you start watching Dead Reckoning, because, like, after Fallout, I was like, fuck, they could just continue Mission Impossible with her as the lead.
100%.
Because she's matched Ethan.
Or hell, just take her out of that ensemble and give her a spin-off film.
Right? Like, she fucking saved Ethan's life in Rogue Nation, okay? And then, technically twice, she saved his life, right? And then saves him, like, helps him, and you think, okay, they're going to be part of the IMF or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, sure, they tease that they're going to get together or whatever, and but they don't. And you know what? That's fine, because, I mean, technically he is still married to Julia. Right? And also, pretty much, like, aside from Julia, every girl that he ever got with died. So, right? Like, okay, fine. Like, maybe he just kind of realizes, yeah, this isn't for me. And maybe she's just like, you know, it's not for me, but occasionally we can take the edge off, you know? Get a little of that fucking going on.
Woo!
But after, when you watch Dead Reckoning, there's no way that they're going to position Ilsa to lead it.
Yeah, and then the way they took her out was really just like...
You know what? It's not just that. It's also her plot line throughout the whole movie. Was like you had.
I got to turn to you because I feel like we're about to get deep.
Yeah, like the whole plot line of that movie is essentially like, well, I mean, that's the story. Ethan Ryan, like, she does this, and then you bail her out, and it's like, eventually, you're not going to be able to bail her out. Like, they're pretty much telling you at the beginning of the movie, she's going to die.
Not to mention, at the beginning of the movie, we thought she died. Then she comes back, and we're like, yes! And then she dies. Everyone was dead. She already came back.
Well, and that's the part, right? Like, because they do the fake out. She's like, you're dead. Yeah. You're play dead type of thing, and then you see her later in the movie. So then you think, there's no way, right? There's no way they're going to kill her. And then they do, and it sucked the life out of the movie. Now...
Yeah, because I was really depressed for a while.
Exactly. Now, imagine... Now, for me, now I'm already, like, at some point, like, feeling the length of the movie a little bit. So when that happens, I'm like, oof. I do hope that we get to see some of the scenes that were cut that were more Dead Reckoning Part 2 and less the Final Reckoning. Yeah. Like, I kind of want to see. So. But yeah, so going into this one, I will say, if you're not a fan of the series all the way through, the first hour is going to be a long one for you.
Yeah.
Because I personally thought they did a great job of threading in all the flashbacks and the story and all that stuff.
I thought it became a little excessive at times.
I didn't, actually.
Where I was like, do you really have to thread in every Mission Impossible movie?
Fair. I mean, that's fair.
And that was pretty much it.
Like I'm not going to tell you that your opinion is
they really
wrong
do.
They do. They thread everything.
Except about MI2.
Yeah, no, that's right. They don't.
They did nothing with MI2.
I mean,
not even Chimera.
I love the fact that they go back to the rabbit's foot.
Yes.
Especially because in the movie, he calls it the God Killer, so you're just like, oh. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it also kind of ties back to just what they were doing in the first place. Like, they didn't have to show Julia in Ghost Protocol.
Right.
Right? Because as far as we were concerned, she was dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They didn't have to circle back and go, well, actually, it was all just bullshit, right? But they did. And then they didn't have to circle back to that and have her sit there and say, no, my life is great. Thank you for everything. Mm-hmm. You know, you can live your own life. You don't have to worry about me, right?
Yep.
They didn't have to, but they did. So then when you hear, like, oh, they're going to circle back with the rabbit's foot, which, I mean...
That I liked.
Up until this point, there were people literally going, well, what the fuck was the rabbit's foot, right? Mm-hmm. And even in the movie, when they go, well, it's the God Killer, it's like, yeah, but what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it can kill God? Oh, okay.
So it's some kind of religious artifact?
And, well, then you watch The Final Reckoning, and you're like, well, it kind of is.
The Final Reckoning.
The Scientology artifact.
Yeah.
But that's probably the only part that was a holdover from Dead Reckoning that I didn't like, was that they still treated it like, well, the choice. Mm-hmm. They kept the retcon about how they're all criminals.
Yep.
Which doesn't make any sense, because Benji was in the CIA in the third movie.
Also...
Before he was in the IMF.
Luther became really sick somehow between the two.
Oh, that could happen. Life happens. I'm okay with that. Life happens.
But it's supposed to only take him months later.
He was already sick in Dead Reckoning. We just didn't notice. Okay? He spends most of his time sitting in most of these movies anyway, right?
That's true.
So,
That's true.
You know. That one, that one's come up enough times, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, whatever. If it bothers you, I'm not going to shit on you. But at the same time...
To me, it bugged me.
Yeah.
And I called it beforehand. Remember in the trailer where Tom Cruise looked all sad? So like, Luther's dying.
Well, I mean, they showed him in fucking hospital scans.
Which death is going to affect him the most? Luther.
Yeah.
The only guy that's been in the series since number 1.
Yeah. Like, but I mean, if you think about, like, but of course, they continue that cult-like Scientology bullshit in this movie, and they really hammer home the fact that, like, Tom Cruise is the only one that can say movies, you know, stuff like that. So there's a little bit heavy-handed. So I can understand, like, the first hour could be rough for some people, but I loved it. Like, I was like, and also the pace.
Yeah.
Like, I felt the first hour in Dead Reckoning dragged. and more happened in that one than it did in this one, right? Whereas, but I was just like, but again, the pace, the whole thing, like I felt like I was watching something special, right?
Yep.
And then, like I said, the final hour and a half of the movie is
it's crazy.
It's just, but I will say this though, there is a bunch of shit that I will cut. Like I can cut.
Oh, I could trim that movie down.
The stuff with Hannah Waddington, I love her.
Yep.
What the fuck was the point of her being in that movie?
No.
None. There's zero points in that movie. Everything that her character did, you could have had another character do. Like, in fact, they make a point of having the president and her aide, and she's literally like, okay, when it gets heavy, I want you to say this to me.
Yeah.
And then that'll... Well, you could have had everything that happened there, you know, like, they made a point of saying, well, you know, he's got to talk to her so that she can talk to the submarine guy, right? Or you just have him jump in the fucking water, and submarine guy shows him and goes, what the fuck are you doing? And then he gives the envelope to him.
Yep.
And he goes, psh, oh, the president. Right? Yeah. He does his...
Ooh, the president.
He does his Milichik thing.
Yeah. But you're right. That whole thing, I felt like they were just like, oh, this was little Top Gun teaser or Easter egg
just
or
something, right? So it's just like, there's no need, you know, like, so that's like 10 minutes of, and again, like I said, I love the actress, but why? What was the point? The sequence in the actual submarine, love the fight scene. We didn't need like 10 minutes of the rest of the crew jerking off Ethan Hunt, though. Right? Like, there was a lot of like, oh, you're him.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
You know, you have the sub captain go, what are you, crazy? Oh, you're Ethan Hunt. You are crazy. Opened up the envelope. Okay, yep, this is from the president, so this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Get this guy suited up in a suit, and it can only be him, because, well, we have to distract the Russians that are following us. Like, that's all fine. Now you've condensed 20 minutes of scenes into, like, don't get me wrong. You can have the scene of him shirtless getting showered on. You can have that one. Obviously, you have the scene of him running and getting his oxygen levels ready for that. And, of course, the fight scene was awesome.
Yeah,
That's fine, awesome.
Everything about the movie is awesome. But there's obviously, even if they're awesome, things you can cut. Like the guy from the original movie and his hilarious Inuit wife.
Oh no, I wouldn't cut anything there. I thought that was fine.
They could have, though.
They could have. I'm glad they didn't.
Doesn't really serve a massive purpose of the story. Besides, here's a couple more people to hang out with you for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true.
You could.
It's kind of the Julia thing with something else. So it's another thing where it's like, technically Ethan didn't wreck his life.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Everything he's done ultimately works out because he's Ethan Hunt. So, okay, you're right.
So,
as much as I like the sequence,
this
is where we're at. Yeah.
I love it.
You're right. You could totally cut
I love
that
seeing him
plot
again. I thought she was hilarious with the dogs and everything. It's like, what's going on? Oh, she wants to sleep.
I did like that he was happy. Like, he wasn't like, hey, man, like, what the... you fucked me.
What happened to me was the best thing that could ever happen.
Yeah. But it is a retread.
It is a retread. That's part of
it. So there is that. That's right. Yeah. There was another one. Oh, the the Phelps shit.
Yes.
That, I mean, it could have... He didn't have to have the Phelps last name.
No.
I mean, he already had the Briggs last name.
Right.
He could have just been Briggs, the son of Briggs, who recruited Ethan into the IMF in the first place. Or... he was the reason why Phelps scoped him out.
Of course, that's your father.
Right? Like, it could have simply been, no, the reason why I'm after you is because you keep fucking breaking the goddamn rules.
Yeah.
And then it works out for you. It's infuriating. Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to take you in, and that's it.
Yeah.
But, okay, they might have a spot for him in the new IMF that happens, right? Okay, fine. But his whole thing could have been cut out completely.
Yeah.
Right? Or he could have just been pissed. You took my partner. You know, but okay. That whole thing, right? Like, okay, that's cut. Even though I didn't like that it was Phelps, actually, honestly. I didn't like he was Phelps Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He could have just kept being Briggs.
It's like, wait, did you put John Voight in this movie so you could not get tariffed?
Yeah, right?
He'll put you in the movie.
But again, there was the same thing where they go, well, you know, Phelps owed a lot of money,
mm-hmm.
so that's why he joined the IMF. And it's like, what? Like, that's, again, the same plot line from the thing where they go, well, you know, it's all these cast-offs and these criminals, and they're, you know, serving their... But how long is the sentence?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And also, if Ethan was such a piece of shit that he was going to go to jail for a long period of time, but then was recruited into the IMF, but now he's not a piece of shit? Now he's the most, like, he's the only person that can stop the entity and actually hold the power of the entity in his hand and not be corrupted. Because there was that scene where him and Grace are in the incubator, or not the incubation.
Yeah.
And she's definitely like, we could do this. And the second she says, we could do this, he shifts and he's like, yeah, we ain't doing anything. Because he knows she can't really be trusted.
Right.
So and there's also, no way they're hooking
That's his daughter.
Yeah. And that's the other part. Like, they make such a big deal about...
Do a whole old boy thing. You've been fucking your daughter.
Yeah,
no!
But they make such a big deal about her identity, and the Maria stuff was another one, too. And then they just kind of hand wave it away.
Yeah. Right. Also, when he went in the entity and he saw everything, he told her, stay off the ice.
Yeah.
And she immediately went onto the ice. And nothing happened. Nor did he give her shit for being on the ice.
Well, you know why? Because big movie.
Because he started blowing up to pieces. Like, she was blown away.
Yeah, but, I mean, you know what? They always say, hey, Ethan, don't go rogue.
Yep. Don't
go rogue.
On the nation.
If you go rogue, we'll disavow you. And he goes, yeah, I know. And immediately goes rogue.
Yeah, immediately. Immediately.
Like, okay, fine.
I'm just nitpicking. But, like...
I know, but...
That was one of the things, like, even when I was watching it, though, I was like, why do you not want her to go on the ice? Because she's doing everything pretty good on the ice right now.
My thing with Grace, though, was like I was saying, they made such a big deal about her identity at the beginning, like in Dead Reckoning, and then in this one they were like, oh, we don't really care. It's Grace. Her name's Grace.
Sure.
Even though, like, we make a point of showing that her name's not really Grace, because we covered up her fucking ID, but we know it's not Grace.
It's Agent Carter.
But it's Grace. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right?
Surprise!
So, like, it is higher on my ranking, but...
I'll tell you why right now, why Fallout's still number one for me. Because you can't top Sean Harris as the villain.
I'll tell you why. You can't take anything out of that movie.
You can't.
You can't cut.
That's right, too.
You can't cut anything.
It is perfect.
Rogue Nation, you can't cut anything. And I love Rogue Nation because it's the reverse.
Yeah.
It starts off with a big, huge fucking stunt. And then it ends with a tiny little, like, box thing, right? And you're just like, shit, that's how it ends. Like, it's almost anticlimactic.
Right.
But by the time you get there, you're like, yes! He fucking beat you! And the IMF beat you! Eat shit! Suck a dick! Fuck yeah! Right? And then you're like, wait, hold on. There's no set piece. There's no huge set piece.
That was it at the beginning.
Right? And then Fallout, like, perfect. Like, and again, whereas Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning, and I think Final Reckoning is better than Dead Reckoning for me across all spectrums. Yeah. Because, yes, we called Luther dying, but that was impactful.
Oh, yeah.
And that fucker got me in the theater. Like, I was like, are you kidding?
I teared up.
Are you kidding?
Of course I teared up. Say it. Yeah, I've spent almost 30 years with you, Luther.
Yeah.
Me.
You know.
Ken LIVITSKI.
Benji almost dying. I was like, holy shit.
Oh, man.
I was like, holy shit, are you kidding
No way you're killing both of them.
Like, what?
You already killed Ilsa in the last movie, guys. Come on.
But, and here's the other thing, too. I would change the ending.
I would also change it. I would leave it open that Ethan's either dead or alive. That's
right. I would show the entity, right? But as I say this, though, the reason why he's still alive is because they give him the entity at the end.
Yeah.
That's why. That's the only reason they have to show him, because no one else realistically can have the entity and not be corrupted to use it. So at least that's why they did it. But I would have left it differently. Like I would have done
when
it
he was going down with the parachute, it was just and then cut to black. I was like, that's it. They just no more Ethan. They wrote him off. We don't know if he's dead or alive, but that was it.
Yeah, I think, but I would have shifted it so that instead of like Grace being the catching it type of thing, like I would have shifted it so that her actions forced the entity into the poison pill thing that he had at the end.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So then it's ambiguous whether or not he lived, but it's also ambiguous what happened to the entity.
Mm-hmm.
So then, of course, they got to look for the entity.
Right.
Right? Or Ethan. And that would be like the impetus for Mission Impossible 9 is the hunt for Ethan.
Right.
Right? Now, I think what they're going to do, it's going to be, if they do this, right? Like, they do, I think it's going to be, I thought this would be a cool way to do Mission 9, is that, well, yeah, Ethan's out there with the entity, right? We know that. The American government is like, fuck that, I don't care, we want the entity, right? Because, like, that was the whole purpose of Kittredge. Kittredge was like, I don't know, we're gonna get the fucking entity because we're America. Like, fuck this.
That's the only reason.
I don't give a shit about all those other countries. We want it because we want it, right? And it makes sense because it's the same rationale for all the other countries, right? It's just America's the best, right?
Aren't they?
But so I thought that would be what they would do. So then they would send them out to find Ethan, or another thought was, and this is where the Metal Gear stuff comes in. They're doing a mission, and it's just like Ghost Protocol, where they're doing a mission without Ethan.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because Ethan effectively is retired, or just he's not taking as many as he used to because his heart's not in it because he's lost so many people along the way, right? And I mean, he makes a point of saying, Benji, you're the leader now. Mm-hmm. This is your team now.
Yeah.
Because he's accepted that this is it. Like, I'm dead. I'm going to die doing this, but I'm going to do it, right? And so I think that would be kind of cool that they're doing a mission, and then it goes tits up, and they have to find Ethan to set things right. Right? The only drawback, though, is it means that the franchise is still beholden to Ethan Hunt and Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah.
Because the other part is, like, fuck, man, we're gonna see him die on screen. Like, that's the thing.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
No, we are.
Like, and I'm not kidding.
Shocked he's 16 times to do that fire parachute. 16 takes.
And
are you kidding me?
And legit lights that thing on fire every fucking time. Free falls. Like, and he's talking about,
I gotta do this, and this, or I die.
Yeah, if I start doing this, well then I can do this, and this, and I might not die. Or if it goes like this, and I'll do this, and I might not die. But these ones I'll for sure die. So let's do this, right? Like, it's insane. And I'm sitting there going like, holy fuck! Like, and I've been working on like a paper where I'm talking about how I personally believe that Ethan Hunt is probably one of the greatest characters in modern cinema, and a surprisingly positive idea for a masculine character, because of just this, how I've changed my life because of the influence from that character. Fully accepting that a large part of this is Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise is insane. Okay? And I'm not saying this like it's a funny little thing to say he's crazy.
No,
I honestly think that because of Scientology, he legit doesn't think he can die. And that's why he's doing these things. I don't think he thinks he can die. I think he's just like fucking...
He's immortal.
Exactly. Like, you can't kill Scientology or Tom Cruise. That's it.
The painting of Dorian Gray. We got a Tom Cruise painting.
Not even. It just is. It's just like I'm going to live and then I'm going to die. He's going to live and he's not going to die because he's Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Right?
He'll live forever.
Like, fuck.
Well, I mean, he's going to space.
Yeah.
Might as well be a Mission Impossible movie. What do you do with the MC? You put it in space.
Actually, yeah, that's right. In fact, the whole purpose is for him to, like, that's the chase, right? Yeah. The IMF is actually chasing him.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, he's got to get into space to send it off into the atmosphere. And then explode it.
Yeah. and then jump on a rocket and ride it to the moon.
Because it is funny that they make a point of saying, well, you can't kill it because it'll destroy the internet, like cyber, and the world as we know it. But if it's contained, then why can't you kill it at that point? Right? Like,
I don't know.
But, so, for me, personally.
Yes.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I loved it.
Okay, like personally,
obviously, it's in my top 5 of the year for sure.
They have an estimated budget of $300 to $400 million. So it's probably 400 million, if not closer to 5.
Yeah.
Right? Now, one of the things I will say about Paramount, though, and I find it really refreshing, is that they're not concerned as much about the profits it makes from the theater.
Because they know they're going to make it all in the back end.
Because they're going to make it all in the back. They're going to make it on streaming rights. Because obviously, there's going to be people signing up to Paramount Plus for that. But they're also going to license it out. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. And they know they're going to make money on DVD sales. Okay? That's it for sure. So I think that's kind of refreshing in the sense that, like, when you look at, like, Marvel and Disney, their mentality is if it doesn't make $15 billion in 2 weeks, we suck.
Yeah, we suck.
But not, like, the company, the people watching the movie. You guys suck, because you should have loved it.
Your fault.
You didn't like the plate of shit we gave you.
Yeah.
But you should like the plate of shit.
You're racist.
Yeah, exactly. You're racist, you're sexist, because you didn't see
the Marvels.
Snow White.
Yeah, Snow White.
Right. Although
I didn't see Snow White because he made the fucking dwarf CG. There's a lot of small people out there that could have did that shit.
I didn't see Snow White because it didn't look good.
It didn't look good, but also the dwarf should have been really good.
I'll say, like, Lilo and Stitch. I never saw the original animated Lilo and Stitch, but I thought it looked good.
Yeah.
And the live action looks good.
It's awesome.
Like, it looks really good.
It's really good.
But, like...
And Adrian and I are seeing How to Train Your Dragon tomorrow.
Oh my god. Oh, that looks so good. So I
can't wait.
That's one where, like, it's literally just live action CGI. Like, it's so close.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I mean, fucking Gerard Butler looks exactly like he does in the fucking...
Yeah.
Like...
I don't even fucking care, man. Like...
And I love it, too, because he's just like, are you kidding me? Like, that... It, like, reignited that kept my career going.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, man, I love all those movies.
Oh man, it's so good.
So
good.
Okay.
Okay, so you're doing your ranking?
Current box office, though.
Okay, box office.
450 million, 450.2.
Yeah, it looks like it might just scrape by, but not really profit.
Yeah.
In the theaters.
Yeah, exactly. And again, but...
And also, again, I mean, they're losing all their IMAX screens because it's nonstop movies this summer.
Yeah, which, well, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a pretty fucking great month coming up. Like,
I can't keep up with it.
Imagine.
Because I want to watch the smaller movies too, right?
Yeah, but remember when we were like, whew, I don't think I'm going to see anything in the theater. And now we're like, I'm at a point where I'm like...
I missed that one because I can only watch so many movies.
So we're going to see Jurassic Park in the theater, that's it for sure.
Yeah.
And then I'm definitely seeing Superman at least once.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling I'm probably seeing it twice. And then Fantastic Four is another one that I'm seeing it for sure once.
Yep.
But I have a feeling I'm probably going to see it twice if I can, because I got a fucking son. Like, Jesus.
Yep.
Whom I love, and he's amazing. He's the light of my life. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so currently is 451,897, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
But, I mean, okay, so in terms of ranking, Fallout, obviously.
Yep.
Rogue Nation.
Yep.
Obviously.
Yep.
Okay? When I got out of the theater, I immediately was saying, like, oh, it's like Fallout and it's the Final Reckoning. Like, that's...
Yeah, you were right there when we walked out. And I was like, whoa,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then, of course, I sat with it, and I was just kind of like, okay, all right.
Brew there for a while.
So third place, Ghost Protocol.
Yeah?
And so the first 3 places, obviously the first 2 because they're perfect.
Yeah.
But Ghost Protocol, I don't think I would change anything either. But the other part is, so now it's the Final Reckoning, okay? Then it's Dead Reckoning, and then the rest fall. And then it's the first one. But I have a feeling that what's going to happen is that I'll watch the first one again, and then it's going to bump Dead Reckoning. Because even as I'm saying this, I'm thinking actually, honestly, I probably would say Final Reckoning, then Mission Impossible, then Dead Reckoning.
One of those has Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, but he died horribly.
Horribly. Like, I love that fucking. Did you see that video of the guy on the red carpet?
Oh yeah,
Tom Cruise Emilio video. Yeah. It's like, if I knew you were going to do 8 of these things, I never would have agreed to getting on that elevator.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. It also lends more credence to where Jeremy Renner is saying, like, you know why I never went back to those movies? Because I didn't want to fucking die. I want to kill my character off.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, they would have.
Yeah.
Especially because, again, like, remember, so Ghost Protocol, that was the vehicle to take Ethan out and put Brand's character in. But, of course, it made so much money. And then, of course, the stunt from Tom alone was like the big centerpiece that of course they were like, wow.
We got to shift gears a little.
So then when you watch Rogue Nation and his role is essentially like glorified government guy who didn't really do much, I mean, towards the end, yes, but it wasn't like Ghost Protocol. You're like, okay, so now I can kind of see what was going to happen with Ilsa. What were you going to do? You're either going to hook them up and then she would have died, or she would have just been the background character as part of the IMF, right? Like, so as cool as she was going to be diminished regardless, right? So I'm fine with Haley Atwell being brought in to be the stand-in for that. She did fine.
She did fine, but now she gets to live and continue on.
Yeah, but you know what? I gotta be honest with you. One of the things I thought that they were gonna do was, because like at the end of Dead Reckoning, like, what's his face? Gabriel does this whole thing where he's like all the women in his life, like he uses them, and then then they die, or he just discards them. And what does he do at the end of Dead Reckoning? She watches him really try to save Paris just long enough to get the information that he needs, and then he fucks off, right? And she's like, "Hey, what am I doing?" Well, you're Kittredge. Well, he'll see your value and whatever, right? Yeah. And so she's looking at him as he's like getting the information from Paris, and there's almost that look like, fuck this guy, Gabriel was right. So it would have been interesting to see if that, because I had a feeling that they would have, in the way they were going to do it originally, she would have turned heel on Ethan and joined up with Gabriel, because she would have been like, dude.
I love that you said turned heel.
Oh, yeah, well. Yeah. I say it in regular terms now.
I love it so
I've
much.
said it to Michelle a couple of times. Yeah. Like, well, the fucking turn heel, and she knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Wrestling, but yeah. But yeah, so yeah, no, I would say Final Reckoning, Mission Impossible, then Dead Reckoning, and then it's still 3 and 2. Like 2 is still at the bottom for me. Yeah. Like I just,
as a Mission Impossible film, I get it.
I mean, just.
I am a 2 lover.
I know.
I will never.
There's nothing
deny
wrong
my love for number 2
with loving the movie for whatever reason. Like I don't even like yeah, it's this and this.
A lot of it could be the nostalgia. It came out when we were in high school. I remember watching with my buddies, just like
it's
But yeah, no, it's for me. Yeah, Fallout's number 1.
Yeah,
hands down.
Yeah.
Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
And then it's probably gonna be Final Reckoning.
Okay.
Because you always liked Ghost Protocol more than I did.
Which is funny, because at first I wasn't that huge.
Yeah.
But then retroactively, like after Fallout, well, Rogue Nation, really, and then Fallout, I was just like, fuck. And then it was like, boom.
I liked Ghost Protocol because it was so much better than 3.
Oh,
so much better than 3.
Night and day.
But then Rogue Nation came out, and I was like, Ghost Protocol, what?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So, so Final, and then probably Dead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
And then Mission Impossible 2, because I love it. And then Ghost Protocol, not because I hate it, but just because
Yeah, well, I mean, it's rankings, right?
It's
like
rankings.
It's like you have.
But when I'm ranking these, though, I'm ranking between movies that are like 5 out of 5s, 4.5 out of 5s.
And even like,
I think my lowest one, 3 is my lowest, and I think that was still like a 3.5 out of 5, 7 out of 10.
2 is my lowest, and that one's still I would say it's probably a solid 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
It still isn't a bad ranking. So, I mean, like...
Yeah, like...
It's such a solid series.
Yeah, it's you know, it's kind of like we say this all the time, but it's like... Something is... They're just not as good, right? Like, it just...
And you can almost split them up into, like, 2 sets of 4, because...
Yeah.
Really, the first 4 are all different directors, and they all feel like very different movies.
Yeah.
And then the last 4 are all the same director, same team, and it feels very fluid.
But I would argue, though, that, like, Rogue Nation and Fallout definitely feel different.
Yes.
Definitely feel different. And then Fallout to Dead Reckoning definitely feel different. Now, Dead Reckoning and the Final Reckoning do feel different, but that was, like, they switched gears. They intentionally made it feel different than what it was going for, because it was obviously going to be Dead Reckoning Part 2.
Yeah.
Like, or Chapter 2, or whatever the fuck they were going to call it, but it was not going to be the Final Reckoning. And it was going to be more of a Part 2. Like, it was going to be like Infinity War and Endgame. Like, that's how it was going to be, right? It wasn't going to be quite like the way we got it, so... But, fuck, man, that sub-scene.
That sub-scene, man.
Holy shit.
I may rank it lower than Fallout, but I think that sub-scene's my favorite stunt in the whole series. Because when that door opened and he's in there, and you just see that Russian sub right behind him, and just the scale of it, I'm just like, holy fuck, this is nuts.
Yeah. And
this is so nuts.
Like... And then just the entire sequence in the sub, as it's shifting and things are falling on him.
Yeah, and it's rolling.
And then it's rolling. Like,
my palms are sweating. Oh, I was stressed watching that.
I was like trying to breathe.
I was so just like...
There were times where I'm like, you have to breathe. Like, you have to... And breathe slowly, because it's just like, I was getting tenser and tenser. And then of course, the airplane scene.
Yeah, well, that.
Like, fuck, like... The Fallout scene with the helicopters is absolutely and fucking incredible. But that plane scene is just like, when he switches, it's just like, holy shit. And again, because it's Tom Cruise. Like, it's not Tom Cruise.
Yeah, there's no green screen behind him.
Exactly. Like, this isn't like
he's in
a
the fucking
CGI
sky.
plane. Like, you know, or better yet, this isn't like, you know, they created this giant fucking tank to film the submarine scene, okay?
Yep.
Right? So, like, there's still a margin of error. There's still, something could happen, right? But there's a team right there. It's like, what happens if he falls, right? And the harnesses break or whatever.
Yep.
That's it. Like, yes, he's going to back up shoot. There's all these still variables, but...
What if?
Oof, like, it's like, holy shit. Now, I will say this, though. I thought it was really silly that Gabriel was just like, I'm gonna leave, Ethan. But luckily for you, I got 2 planes.
Dun, 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 dun.
You're not gonna catch me, though. And I was just like, okay, but like, don't tell me there's 2 planes.
Yeah.
Show you and that dude running, and then show you in the one plane and the other. Then don't tell me there's 2 planes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I saw the trailer. I know there's 2 fucking planes.
Everyone knows there's 2 planes.
Okay, I know there's 2 fucking planes. I also know that he starts in
really
one.
Fucking stupid.
He starts in one and he gets in the other. I know this.
That's such a rookie villain mistake. You should be a pro.
Oh, I don't care about that. Like, I love that people are like, oh, it's cartoony villain. Yeah, of course it was. He was fucking insane.
Yeah, he was crazy.
He was like, I'm gonna control
working for a robot system. He's essentially Dr. Claw.
Yeah.
This is Inspector Gadget.
You know, like, and they're like, well, he died cartoony. It's like, well, how was he supposed to die? Yeah. Did you want him to, like, fly into the propeller?
And get chopped to bits?
Like, is that what you wanted?
His death was... Oh, man.
I actually liked...
He got fucking sacked.
I liked that it was just one of those where he just kind of was like, oh, fuck, and then he's out. And you're just like, well, shit.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Right? But,
bummer.
So, I can't wait to own it.
It's a 5 out of 5.
I can't wait to. It is a 5 out of 5.
It's a 5 out of 5.
With Dead Reckoning, I didn't say 5 out of 5 because of all the stuff that I could cut. This one's a 5 out of 5 despite the fact that I could cut it. Despite the fact that it, as a rewatch, it's like, I'm more likely to rewatch this one than Dead Reckoning, even though they're both, like, marathon runs.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to watch them both on the same day, though. I'll tell you that much. Nope.
Yeah. Nope.
But yeah, no, it's fucking awesome. And you should see it. If you're a Tom Cruise fan, you should watch this movie. If you're a Mission Impossible fan, you should watch this movie. If you're not, you should just watch this movie. Because you might become a fan. Yeah. Although, very heavy-handed with the Scientology references.
Yeah.
This is definitely, like, the last two movies are the only times in the entirety of me watching Tom Cruise movies that I was like, these are Scientology.
Mick Q a Scientologist too?
Not that I'm aware of. Like, because even, what's his face? Simon Pegg said, because they've been friends for so long, he's just like, yeah, there's just certain things we don't talk about. And that is one of them. Like, they don't say it. He's like, we know, we don't talk about that. Huh. You know? So, because of course, like, everyone's like, well, is he actively trying to recruit you? And it's like, no. Maybe. I don't know. We don't talk about it. Right?
Religion, whether Scientology or, like, real stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you keep that out of friendships, you're gonna pretty much stay friends forever.
But, like, it's also just, I mean, I have a hard time picturing it. I think he talks about movies more than anything.
Yeah,
because that's him. Like, that's, like, yeah, he's a Scientologist, and he's probably going to, like, whenever David Miscavige dies, or doesn't die, or whatever the course of action for Scientologists are.
Well, they get cremated, and then they print Battlefield Earth printers
yeah,
from their bodies.
Right? But, like, yeah. I do think that he's going to be, like, the top guy at the end. Like, I think he'll be, and then, however, if he does, in fact, live forever, then fine. But if he doesn't, right?
Well, we won't see it.
But I do think it's one of those things where he's, like, you want to talk movies, you're going to talk to Tom Cruise about movies. Yeah. Right? Like, I mean, shit, the stuff he did in this movie was Buster Keaton walking on airplane stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, you know, the jump scene, the motorbike jump scene was one he wanted to do when he was a kid. Like, he was just like, fuck, man, like, let's do this. Like, that's how I envision him being about movies.
It's crazy, like, the life that he has, and yet he says he watches one movie every day no matter what.
Well, I mean, I could see myself, like, it's also one of those deals where, like, I could see myself doing that kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
Like, if I had all the money and all the time in the world, yeah, you better believe I'd be living my life like fucking Batman. Like, fucking being able to be in the best possible shape, you know, and just, like, you know, like...
Of course I'm watching movies. What am I going to do with my time? Spend it with my kid?
Well, there is that aspect, but I mean, like, at the same time, like, I would be in better shape because I'd have more time. I would...
Absolutely.
I would look at, like, physically, I'd be able to say, well, you know, I am a black belt in this because I have the time and the money to do it. I don't have to worry about a job, right? And all those things. Like, I'm the who I am. Yeah, of course, I'm gonna make time for my wife and make time for my friends and my kid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, 40 hours a week of our lives, in some cases more, depending on your job, are devoted just to at least maintaining stuff. Right? Never mind thriving.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
So, but, like, at the same time, we're talking about a guy who did a take of him lighting a fucking parachute on fire 16 times.
16 times.
Right? He did the motorbike jump take, like, 60 times. And the first one was the best take. Right? Yeah. Like, how many times
How many shots do you need to do?
How many times did he do the submarine scene? Right? Like, fuck. Like...
Yeah, like, I don't know.
So, yeah, like, I mean, I say Ethan Hunt in the last couple of years has been a very huge positive thing for me as a guy, like, as a human being. And part of that is Tom Cruise, so I can't take that away. I can't just be like, yeah, but, you know, blah, blah, blah. It is part of Tom Cruise to be able to do those things.
Yeah, you know what? I like Tom Cruise.
I'm a Tom Cruise guy. Like, I'm a Tom Cruise
weird
fan.
Religion thing, you know. It's pretty shitty that he doesn't spend time with his kid, whatever. But his passion for what he loves it's infectious.
But his personal stuff, though, that's none of my business.
Yeah, that's personal shit, right?
It's none of my business.
Yeah,
it's terrible that he doesn't have. As far as I know, he doesn't have a relationship with
his kid. As far
as
I know,
but I mean, I don't need to know any of that other shit.
No,
I think now, honestly, at my age and the access to the information that we have, it's worse, right? Like, I know more now about the people that I used to look up to, right? Like, you find out about, like, Hugh Jackman and how things ended up with his marriage and stuff like that, and you're just like, I didn't need to know. they divorced and that's it, you know. Yeah, some of it is like, you know, you're seeing it out there, so it's forced upon you. There's an element of that, right? But like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to meet my heroes. You know, I want to meet the version of them that they want to present. I don't want to like Hogan, for instance. I didn't ever want to know the real Hogan. I know that now. As a 42-year-old man, I know now that I never wanted to know the real Hogan. Yeah. I just wanted to know the real American Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Because he was a superhero to us when we were kids.
Yeah.
I had his poster on my wall. I had his little blue Hulkamania weights, and I pumped. Yeah. And look at the poster.
I didn't need to know that he really didn't mean it when he said eat your say your prayers, eat your vitamins, you know, and that kind of shit. No, I'm good.
None of it.
None of it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks again for checking us out for this Geek Pants Camcast.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks again. We appreciate it. We love you.
Love you.
We are where we are, and we aren't where we aren't. We are Geek Pants Media, and you are Geek Pants Media.
And we are we doing the Ultimate Warrior speech?
Are we?
We are. You are the Ultimate Warriors. I am the Ultimate Warrior. That's right.
We are
together. We are Ultimate Warriors.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Answers, we love you.